Affirmative. The features we see on the surface, and I suppose even higher on the television, but as we approach the terminator and the shadows become longer, you'll see a marked change.
It's still bright right here, but in effect the pictures are overexposed, and as they get where it's a little darker, the features stand out more sharply. It's as though it were full sun.
There's a very dark crater in the filling material of this valley in front of us now. It's rather unusual in that it's sharply defined, yet it's dark all over its interior walls, whereas most new-looking craters are very bright interior.
I think on the edge of the window there, you can see a reflection of one of the
crater in front of us now in the little mare, well-defined, quite new, and another one approaching. The spacecraft is facing north from our track. We are going sideways to our left.
One of the
Now, seeing the Sea of Christ crises coming over the horizon.
Which of your windows is fog? You remember, Frank? It's one of the windows along the side. It's not what they call a rendezvous window, which they would need to affect the rendezvous. It's one of the windows a little farther back in the spacecraft. And they've got some plans to try to correct that in the future.
The large dark crater between the spacecraft and the Sea of Crises is Condorcet crater. Sea of Crises is amazingly smooth as far as the horizon past this rather rough mountainous region in front of the spacecraft.
Apollo 8, we're through the computer. If you go back to block, and it looks like we're getting a lot of reflection off your window now.
Roger, we'll switch windows. How's that look now, Ken?
That's real fine.
That's William Anders, astronaut Anders, who's been talking there. The black interior of the spacecraft, window, and a gleaming white moon immediately outside. About 60 miles below it. The curvature is very visible, even in a short view, because, as you know, the moon is much smaller than the Earth.
Apollo 8, can you tell us which window you're looking out? And there's a large crater that looks like it's sticking up in the upper right-hand corner of our picture. Do you identify that one?
We're just about to lose the lock here, that's why we're slowing up a little bit. We see the Sea of Crises in front of us now, and we're looking at the left-hand rendezvous window.
Now, this is a picture from Denver, and the astronauts are moving from the lower right to the upper left part of the screen. If it were a clock, it would be from about 4 o'clock up to 10 o'clock. And if we have any chance of catching sight of them, it would be as they pass the terminator, which is the line between the dark area and the white area of the moon. In the upper right hand of the picture, this live picture from the observatory, you see a big area. It's called the Sea of Tranquility. Now we're back to the pictures from the spacecraft itself.
How are you reading it, Hugh?
Loud and clear, Apollo 8, and we have a picture that's good.
Roger, we're getting a lot of static. The Sea of Crises is in front of us on the horizon, and the dark crater Picard can be seen in the middle. We're now breaking the moon's sunrise, or the spacecraft sunset. This is an area that the sun has just recently come up on the moon. See the Mari we're over now has a marble look about it, but not very heavily cratered, so it must be relatively new. This is the Sea of Fertility, and we're coming up on a large crater, the Delta Rim variety. Has a strange circular crack pattern around the middle of it. Crater that you're seeing now is about 30 or 40 miles across. How's your picture quality, Houston?
This is phenomenal.
There's an interesting rill directly in front of the spacecraft now. Running along the edge of a small mountain. now approaching lunar sunrise, and for all the people back on Earth, the crew of Apollo 8 has a message that we would like to send to you. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning was the first day. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning was the second day. And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. And from the crew of Apollo 8, we close with good night, good luck, a Merry Christmas, and God bless all of you on the good earth.
There you are, the crew of the Apollo 8 signing off after their last transmission of pictures from the moon by reading what, if a long memory serves me right, are the opening sentences from the book of Genesis in the Bible, which tells of the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the separation of night and darkness, and the seas and the land. And wishing all of us on this New Year's Eve a Merry Christmas, back on what they called